thank you to EA for sponsoring this video. Hi everybody, it's Eva here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a very exciting new video, because as you might have seen on my channel, I announced that I've been keeping a secret for a while because the Sims team have actually asked me to build official lots for The Sims 4 Royalty and Legacy, which is mind-boggling. I never ever thought that after having worked on The Sims 4 businesses and hobbies, I would be asked to build lots for another pack, but somehow here we are. I built two really special lots for The Sims 4 Royalty and Legacy, which is such a pinch me moment. Like, I genuinely still can't quite believe it, but I'm so excited to show you and to share it all with you, and I really hope you'll like the pack and you'll like the builds. I think the pack is absolutely amazing. It's all about royalty, it's all about gossip and drama and scandal, and obviously the world is stunning. The new world is called Ondarian and it consists of 3 different kingdoms. They're called Bellacorde, Verdamar and Dambele, and all 3 of them are genuinely, like, basically a world in themselves. Like, it's mind-blowing what the Sims team have created this time for The Sims 4 Royalty and Legacy. I'm actually so in shock that this is one pack. Like, it feels like it should be multiple packs. I'll let you know more why later on as I get into the pack and the build. But oh my god, this pack has so much content. They're all 3 completely different and they have their distinct styles. They're inspired by different areas in the world, and I got to build the big palaces for Verdamar and Bellacordo. So that is absolutely mind-blowing to me. I built the 2 biggest lots in the pack, and they're kind of like the showstopper lots, so I needed to impress and I needed to deliver. So today I'm sharing my footage from when I was building the Bellacordo Palace from start to finish. I was approached many months ago by the Sims team. There were 3 other lot builders involved in creating lots for this pack. They are Plumbob Kingdom, Studio Gabri and Emerald Stories, so do check out their content and their videos as well, because they created stunning lots also for this pack, and they gave us such a great deck of like what each neighborhood and each lot is about, which was so cool. And then we kind of built our own lots. So the way we go about this lot building process with the Sims team is that we have multiple iterations that we submit. So the first iteration is very much like we build the whole lot. A lot of the items aren't actually available that early on because the game is being built as we were working on it. So at the beginning we had mainly the exterior pieces, which I'll get into in a second. We had like loads of the exterior but not really many interior pieces, so we had to use placeholders for the time being, and then we would submit, we would get feedback, and then with the next kind of iteration of the build that we would produce, we would have more objects available, and you'll see me build it basically as that. So at first I'm creating the actual original kind of build that I created, then there's some more updates and I replace a lot of the furniture. There's not really any kind of structural update as such, but there's just new items that needed replacing, and then there's just more and more updates. So that's what you're seeing in real time basically. Well, not real time, sped up, but it's the actual process that I filmed. All of this happened many months ago when we were working on the pack, and honestly you have to bear in mind that we are not allowed to use any cheats. We can't use, you know, move objects, we can't use any alt placement, so it's quite the challenge, especially landscaping. Actually, landscaping without move objects is quite difficult, but in Bellacordo it actually worked really well because it's such a symmetrical and perfect and pristine garden that it worked perfectly in my favor actually. But of course very daunting because I had to build a palace, and I knew that there was also restrictions on kind of how much you can build on a lot just for performance levels, because the pack has to obviously run for everybody. So that was quite daunting, and it was a big lot, and I really wanted the palace to be worthy of the neighborhood, and Bellacordo is such a stunning neighborhood. Like, all 3 neighborhoods in Ondarian are absolutely insane. The level of detail that went into them, the little hidden spots that you'll find, like, it's honestly, I am so obsessed with how all 3 neighborhoods turned out. Each neighborhood, like I said, has a very distinctive style, so we really wanted to all stick with the style of the neighborhood and make it kind of authentic to that neighborhood or kingdom. I should call them kingdom, really. Bellacordo is inspired by Lake Como and like Lake Garda area in Italy, and having actually been there before, I know how romantic that area is, and I really wanted to convey this kind of romantic feel with the palace. And Bellacordo is very orderly, it's very, you know, it's very flamboyant, it's very rich, it's very wealthy. It's a really dreamy area, and we've got loads of pastel colors, we've got wisteria, which there's new wisteria in the game, and it's so stunning, like I love it. And yeah, it's all very pristine and perfect, and it is also reflecting the household that actually lives in this palace, which is the Cap family. And the Cap family I'm so excited for. They're actually a reintroduction from The Sims 2. They used to exist in The Sims 2 in Veronaville, which, I mean, I loved playing with that Romeo and Juliet vibe. That's kind of the inspiration for the Cap and the Monty household. They were rivals, and their kids kind of fell in love and had a relationship. So the Cap household is back, which is so exciting. And the Cap household in The Sims 4 is rather materialistic. They're very power driven. Tybalt, the head of the family, really wants to get that crown, and he wants to rule Ondarian, and he loves to show off his wealth. So that's what we've done. Like, we've really made this super flamboyant. You know, it's very showy, it's very blingy, there's a lot of gold. It's very, very much like I want to show off my wealth and prove my place in society. So that's the kind of person that Tybalt Cap is, really. Also, since I have been a lot builder on this pack, it would mean the world to me if you decided to use my creator code Eva Rotke at checkout when purchasing the new Sims 4 Royalty and Legacy, and you actually currently receive a 5% discount until February 17th when using my creator code. So yeah, if you decide to purchase the pack, please, please, please consider using my code. I would be so, so grateful. And thank you to everybody who is supporting me and the channel, and hopefully the new pack as well. I really hope you'll love the new pack. It's really, really special. So yeah, I really hope you'll love it. And I have to say, the build and buy for the exterior is unreal in this pack. Like, honestly, stunning. There's so much detail, and especially Bellacordo and Verdemar are kind of areas that have a lot of history and old buildings, and there's a lot of details that actually, you know, reflect that history, reflect the age of the buildings. There's weathering, there's kind of moss and wet weathering from, you know, the palaces being so close to the sea. So they really, really put so much attention to detail into this build and buy and this pack. Like, the whole pack I think is just insane. I'm so excited for you guys to actually get your hands on it and play with it and see and experience it yourself, because it's so, so amazing. So like I said, Bellacordo is really quite perfect and pristine. So the palace shape I've kept really symmetrical, except for a little tower at the top. There's so many new windows and doors. It's endless. There's so many options, and they're all stunning, and there's so much detail. And what I really, really love what they did with this pack is they added swatches on each item that works with the different neighborhoods. So for example, Bellacordo has really warm stone, and it has the lemons. That's kind of the symbol of the area, and it's not extremely decorative. It is quite decorative, but not as extreme as Verdemar. Verdemar, for example, is, you know, has colder stones, it has more weathering, it has really ornate details which are stunning, and the shell is kind of the symbol of the neighborhood. So you see kind of the shell and the lemon in various different swatches, so you can use the right one for the right neighborhood, which I think is so cool. Like, it really just makes every build that we created feel so authentic to each area. So yeah, I absolutely love that direction that the Sims team is going in with the build and buy. There is also a new base game staircase update, which is something that I've been waiting for such a long time. You can now have curved stairs at the bottom of the staircases. It's really easy, it's so intuitive, and then you can also, and this is like the highlight, you can also select where you want a balustrade, which side you want the balustrade on, how long you want it to go down, how long you want it to go up at the top. Like, it's so customizable now to create stairs. I'm so excited. And yeah, I mean, the curved bottom of the stairs is just so luxurious and elegant. So it had to be done for a royalty themed pack where we're going to build palaces like this one. If the staircase, balustrade and everything looks a bit funny in my recording, that's because it was very, very early on in the development. And obviously this is not final software. This is, you know, the really, really early original build that we got of the game. So yeah, it's not final software. It's now working all perfectly. And I think it's such a big game changer now for like grand, big builds, like the ones that I like to create. So yeah, I'm so hyped for this base game update. So what was really important also was for me to make this garden look really perfect. And I mean, like, literally no leaf out of line, no hedge growing, you know, a centimeter over where it should be. I wanted it to feel really pristine and manicured, and there's new hydrangea bushes, which are so beautiful. So I'm so excited that we got these for the back. They're perfect for this kind of build. And we've also got a maze at the back, which you'll see a bit later on. There's 2 new fountains, and I wanted to use the big new fountain at the front as this like huge statement piece when you approach the lot, and I'm so obsessed with it. There's some wall fountains as well, which I use throughout both of my palaces. They're so cool. Like, the exterior features are just chef's kiss in this pack. Like, I am actually so happy with every single item. There's new fences that have urns on them, and there's like gates, grand gates for an estate that, you know, or a palace. So that was like all the things that we needed to create these grand palaces and builds. But like I said early on, you probably see me use lots of placeholders of the fountains, for example, and the floor candelabras that I'm using in the garden. They're stunning, by the way. Just you wait till you see those being replaced. Yeah, the exterior didn't change too much, but yeah, there's a few bits and bobs. There's new sculptures, which are so cool. They're really typical Italian, like, grand sculptures, and they again come with weathering. Like, they're just, I love them. And I cluttered the whole roof in them because it's quite common in Italy to have these urn figures on a roof. Yeah, there's so much to work with. Like, it was overwhelming with how much there was to choose from for the exteriors. Like, it was insane. I love it. You know me, I love building old buildings, so anything that's kind of as authentic and old looking as possible, I am obsessed with. Like, give me all the exterior details and I'll be happy. I wanted to talk about the maze that I created in the back of the garden. I feel like the cat family would love a maze and be like, did you know I have a maze in my back garden? Like, I can just so see Tibble do that. But the maze is actually functional, and I had so much fun creating it. It was such a challenge to create something that is actually difficult to navigate, but it's still functional. I'd never built a maze before, so yeah, I really wanted to include one here. And there's a cute little pond area as well in the back of the garden, you know, for very dreamy and romantic settings, and maybe where secret scandals can happen. But now let's move into the interiors, which again you'll see in kind of stages. So at first you'll see a lot of base game placeholders, but do persist because you will see the full build. And also obviously I've done a video tour so you can see how the lot looks at the end. Yeah, so there's new stairs. There's 2 new stairs. So there's stone stairs, which I used on the exterior, and there's these new carpeted stairs, which are so cool. Like, they're very luxurious, they're very palace-esque. We're again using that curved end at the bottom. There is this stunning mural wallpaper that comes, well, there's actually, I think there's 3 or 4 different murals and like various different swatches on each. They're so gorgeous. Like, I really love those murals, and I had so many in my first version of the build, but I like had to rein it in at some point because I was like, there's too many murals in each room, just because I really adore the murals. They're such gorgeous wallpapers, so I've used them a lot in this build. Most bits of furniture, please do ignore because they are the base game, and we got, like, you know, all the curtains, the kitchen, the new bar. Most of the furniture we got much later on, so at the moment it might look a bit odd with all the base game items, but there are so many good things coming. We put them down for the Sims team to know as a kind of reference that we want to put, you know, a sofa there, and so they can kind of check how many items we've got on our lot. So yeah, it's mainly for understanding the performance and the design of the lot, really. Like I already mentioned at the beginning of the video, the palace interiors were supposed to be really kind of showy and flamboyant, and that's why we've put a lot of gold into this interior. Like, a lot of gold accents, and the whole of kind of Bellacordo is more pastel-y, so all the pastels are very typical in this neighborhood. So of course on the interior I went for the light blue swatch with the gold. I'm in such Regency fever, like I just want to build Regency palaces and whatnot. But yeah, the interior is very Regency inspired, so all the buy items that come in this pack for the areas of Bellacordo and Verdemar are very Regency in style. There is a whole separate build and buy for Dambele because it's an African inspired world, so this kind of style wouldn't really work in that area. So yeah, they created a whole separate set in a different style. There is so much in this pack, like I said. We're only really scratching the surface of features and items in this pack. One thing that is new and that I'm so excited about in this pack is I've included a ballroom on this palace lot. But it's not just like, oh yeah, they do a little bit of like weird dance routines. No. They do actual ballroom dancing. Like it's actually a whole new interaction, a new animation, everything. Like I'm so excited. And in this ballroom, we've got a bar. That bar is obviously new, but you'll see that later on. We're using these gorgeous floor candelabras as well, which you'll see again later on. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of paint the picture. We've got this gorgeous mural in here, which is so romantic. And right next to the ballroom is the throne room, which again is something new. So there are now thrones. So if you are the king or queen, you can receive guests and you can hold press conferences and lots of different fun gameplay that if you decide to become a king or queen and you want to work in that royal career, you need a throne. So that is your throne room, and there's a new podium for everything. That whole room undergoes quite a lot of layout changes because we moved the chairs around a lot until we got it just right. But you'll see the final version later on anyway. There's also a really cool canopy which goes above the throne, which you'll see towards the end of the video because that's when it became available for us builders. So in the meantime, I've just placed some curtains, but the canopy is unreal. Like I love it. There's also new wall paneling, which you can just place manually on the walls, which is quite cool. So it's not bound to the actual wallpaper. That's really, really fun. And there's 3 different styles. So again, like you can do super ornate or you can do more kind of simplistic shapes if you want. There'll be a new fireplace as well, which you'll see later on. And there's a new kind of sofa and armchair set, which, like I said, I went for the light blue and gold swatch, which is very showy and very Regency. And like I said, there is more kind of pastels in this household. So the other palace you'll see looks very, very different. But what you're seeing, like in the first iteration, like every single item is changing and being replaced by the new items. Every single one, I promise. So yeah, don't get too attached to the base game items. There'll be a whole different sitting room and dining room when you watch later on. Same with the kitchen. Nothing stays because there is a new kitchen set, but I'll get into that later on. I feel like I'm a broken record, but the bedrooms also change a lot. So the main bedroom is Tybalt's. It's that kind of blue color. And then Tybalt has 3 kids and there's also a guest bedroom. So we've got 5 bedrooms in total. And yeah, they change loads because I really wanted to give the kids their own personality. I wanted them all to be different, but the first time round we didn't really have lots of the interior items, like I said. So they all looked a bit similar. So we changed we changed the layouts, we changed the colors of all the bedrooms. And the main bedroom is obviously the biggest because Tybalt is the head of the family. And each bedroom also has its own ensuite bathroom. There are unfortunately no new bathroom items for Bellacordo and Verdemar. There is a whole new bathroom set for Dambele, but since most of the base game items worked with the style of Bellacordo and Verdemar, we're using mostly base game items, which is a shame, but I mean, they do work. So as we progress throughout the video, you'll see that I am replacing a lot of the base game placeholders, like I said. First up were like the fountains, and we got the new floor candelabra, which has like 2 variants. So one is kind of the normal indoor candelabra, and then there's a second one which is for outdoor, which has greenery on it, which is so cool. And I literally am using this candelabra to death. Like you'll see it in both palaces a lot. I love it. As I mentioned, I'm using blue color throughout the interiors, so there's a lot of blue to match also the shutters. And then, like I already mentioned, there is a new kitchen set, like a full new kitchen set. New counters, new cabinets, new fridge, new island, new hob, new sink, And there's this really cool side shelf, which I am obsessed with. It's very Regency, but also very Italian. I am absolutely obsessed with this kitchen and the detail of it. Like, it's gorgeous, and it's just the perfect design for a pack like this and for a grand palace. It just needed to be a really special kitchen. And yeah, it's this really cool stone hob, which I'm obsessed with. The kitchen I'm so happy with. There's also this like big floor pattern, which is a rug, but it looks like a stone pattern, and I use that throughout the build. So there's new flooring, there's new walls, there's new ceiling tiles, like there's loads. But this kind of rug is really quite cool because it has this kind of special pattern, and yeah, makes the room feel a bit more elevated and grand, really. And we're using these new Regency inspired interior items, and they are really, really lovely. I mean, it's not really, you know, my go-to interior aesthetic, but for a palace you really need these kind of expensive historical pieces of furniture, so it works really, really well for this pack. And the swatches are really, really lovely. There's lots of pastel swatches, but there's also kind of darker, deeper colors as well. And I think for a palace, these interior items are just, yeah, perfect. There's also new rugs, and again, all the rugs, or most of the rugs, have kind of some of the symbols of each kingdom, so you can really tailor it to the kingdom that you're building your lots in. But let me get into the bedrooms a little bit more, because I mentioned that Tybalt, the head of the family, has 3 kids. They're not kids, they're actually young adults, and they all 3 have very different personalities. So first up we have Beatrice, who is a bit of an ice queen. She very much is a bit snobby and materialistic, but it turns out actually deep down she's quite lonely. So her room really reflects that personality and that kind of storyline, because on the forefront her whole room is like perfect. I've used the color green for her room. Everything is just, you know, perfectly in its place. It looks so luxurious. She's got a gorgeous vanity, she's got a gorgeous chaise longue. Everything looks perfect and like she should be happy, but you know, deep down it shows that she's actually probably not got many friends coming over, and that she's quite lonely. And then we've got Celeste. Celeste is the middle child, and she is very different to her dad and her sister. She very much like enjoys the whole chivalry and wealthy lifestyle that they live, but she also doesn't really enjoy the animosity that her dad and her family have against the Montes, so she's actually secretly friends with one of them. And I really just wanted her room to feel a bit more friendly, a bit more uplifting and like happy, so we've gone for the yellow in her room. And then finally Virgilio, he is the youngest and he's kind of the black sheep of the family, and I took that quite literal. I basically decided to go for a completely different color palette. We've got black and white and no color, no pastels, no nothing, everything quite dark and yeah, monochrome. And he also is, you know, he breaks away from his family in the sense that he's a bit of a rebel. He likes to be a bit rambunctious, and he's also into his video games and kind of, yeah, more modern elements. So we included a lot of kind of tech and more contemporary and modern features in his room. So yeah, they're all very, very different. The main bedroom is obviously the most regal bedroom, and it's the largest one. I've included a desk in Tybalt's bedroom. There is a new bed, which is so gorgeous, like this gorgeous canopy bed. Can you just imagine sleeping in a bed like this? Like, you would feel like royalty. Like, you wouldn't even need the crown, you just feel like royalty sleeping in this bedroom. There's also a new wardrobe. There's, like I said, a new vanity table. There's everything's new basically. And I love also the chandeliers that come in this pack. The lighting in this pack is insane. Really, really happy with it. And yeah, there's another guest bedroom, like I said, which I went for kind of peachy pinky colors. There's also a new gameplay feature, which is the secret passageways, which is actually this old grandfather clock looking item. And at first glance you're like, oh, it's a grandfather clock. No, it's actually a secret passage that enables your Sims to get through the neighborhoods much quicker. They're really quite a fun feature for gameplay as well. You can woohoo in it if you wanted to. And because it is secretive, I really wanted to include it where, you know, you would never guess it's there. In the Bellacordo Palace, you can spot it in the dining room. And then as we're getting towards the end, you can see the final new items coming into the game, like the new mirrors, all the curtains I'm replacing in this, the new fireplace. You can see there's a coat of arms, which is really cool, and you can customize it with whatever symbol you want. There's also a big family portrait, which we didn't have at the time, but is in the actual build now, and you'll see it in the video tour, like I said. And you can see like the final bits and bobs, like the new bar and the new bar back, the new throne that is, you know, dedicated just for Bellacordo and Verdemar area, the canopy that I've been praising, and yeah, loads of different little new items. But that is unfortunately already the end of the voiceover and the speed build portion, but you can also see the tour, so stick around for that because you'll see all the new items in place. And I'm so grateful again to the Sims team for having asked me to work on this pack, and also to everybody who is so supportive and so sweet. And yeah, don't forget to use my code EvaRotkey at checkout when purchasing the pack. You'll get the 5% discount at the moment, so definitely worth doing. If you decide to get the pack, do let me know what you think of it in the comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts, and I can't wait to see you very soon for the second palace build in Verdemar. So keep an eye out for the next video very soon. I'll see you then. Bye.